Our planet, a vast and varied sphere of blue and green, holds secrets in its most remote corners. Scattered across the immense oceans are islands, worlds unto themselves that have followed their own unique evolutionary paths. These are not the sun-drenched beaches of holiday brochures but places of profound mystery, where nature's imagination has run wild, and human history has left indelible, often inexplicable marks. They are fragments of land guarded by the sea that have nurtured life forms and stories found nowhere else on Earth, challenging our understanding of what is possible. These isolated realms are living museums, each with a distinct character and a story to tell. So, I invite you to join me on this extraordinary voyage. Together, we will traverse the globe, from the Indian Ocean to the frigid South Atlantic, to uncover the secrets of 10 islands so mysterious, you might find it hard to believe they are truly real. Our first destination lies some 200 miles off the coast of the Horn of Africa, in the azure waters of the Indian Ocean. This is Socotra, an island so isolated that a third of its plant life is found nowhere else on the planet. The most iconic inhabitant of this strange land is the dragon's blood tree, Dracaena cinnabari. With its dense, upturned canopy, it resembles a giant, perfectly formed mushroom, or perhaps a flying saucer that has gently landed upon the arid hills. These remarkable trees are not merely a visual spectacle, they are a source of a deep red resin, the dragon's blood of legend, which has been sought after for centuries for its use in medicine, dye, and varnish. But the wonders of Socotra do not end there. Look closer, and you will find the bizarre bottle tree, its swollen bulbous trunk giving it the appearance of an overfed elephant's leg. This strange form is a natural water tank, allowing the tree to survive the island's long, arid seasons. The island's fauna is equally unique. The Socotran chameleon, the Socotra sunbird, and a host of unique insects have all carved out their niche in this isolated ecosystem. This extraordinary biodiversity earned Socotra its designation as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is a fragile paradise, a living laboratory of evolution. The island's human inhabitants, the Socotri people, have lived in harmony with this unique environment for generations, their culture deeply intertwined with the natural world around them. We travel now far across the Pacific to one of the most isolated inhabited places on Earth. Rapa Nui, or Easter Island, is a tiny speck of volcanic land, thousands of miles from the nearest continent. Yet, on this remote outpost, a remarkable and mysterious civilization once flourished. The silent guardians of this legacy are the Moai. Over 900 of these colossal stone statues stand watch over the island, their backs to the sea, their gaze fixed inland upon the villages they were built to protect. Carved from the compressed volcanic ash of the Rano Raraku quarry, these monolithic figures are marvels of ancient engineering and artistry. Some stand over 30 feet tall and weigh more than 80 tons. The question that has echoed through the ages is not just why, but how. How did a small, isolated society with no wheels, no draft animals, and no metal tools manage to carve, transport, and erect these giants? Oral traditions speak of the Moai walking to their destinations, a concept that modern experiments have tried to replicate with ropes and manpower, suggesting a slow, rocking forward motion. The story of the Rapa Nui people is as compelling as their statues. Polynesians who arrived here around 1200 AD, they developed a complex society with distinct chiefdoms, all competing to honor their ancestors by raising ever larger Moai. This obsession, however, may have led to their downfall. The island's once lush palm forests were cleared to provide logs for transporting the statues and for agriculture, leading to catastrophic soil erosion and the collapse of their ecosystem. Today, Rapa Nui is a territory of Chile, its people a blend of their Polynesian ancestry and modern influences. The Moai of Easter Island stand not just as monuments to a lost civilization but as solemn warnings, sentinels of stone carrying a message of resilience, ingenuity, and the fragile balance between human ambition and the natural world. In the Bay of Bengal, part of the Andaman Islands archipelago, lies a place that remains firmly off the map for outsiders. North Sentinel Island is not mysterious because of ancient ruins or strange geology, but because of its people. The Sentinelese have lived on this small, forested island for an estimated 60,000 years, and in that time they have rejected, often violently, all contact with the outside world. They are one of the last uncontacted peoples on Earth. Their isolation is so complete that we know almost nothing about their language, their beliefs, or their social structure. What we do know has been gleaned from a distance, from boats kept well away from the shore. They are hunter-gatherers, masters of their domain, using bows and arrows to hunt the island's wildlife and spears and nets to fish in the shallow coral reefs that surround their home. They appear healthy and thriving, a self-sufficient society that has no need for and no desire for our world. Attempts at contact, both accidental and intentional, have been met with hostility. Helicopters checking on the island after the 2004 tsunami were met with a volley of arrows from a Sentinelese warrior, a clear and unambiguous signal to stay away. This is not savagery, it is a fierce and determined defense of their home and their way of life, a right to self-determination that is now protected by law. The Indian government, which has sovereignty over the Andaman Islands, has established a 3-mile exclusion zone around North Sentinel. It is illegal to approach the island, a policy designed not only to protect outsiders from the Sentinelese but, more importantly, to protect the Sentinelese from us. With no immunity to common diseases like the flu or measles, contact with the outside world could be a death sentence. The island itself is a time capsule. Because the Sentinelese have been its sole inhabitants, it represents a unique window into how humans lived for millennia, in deep connection with their natural environment. They are not a lost tribe. They know exactly where they are. It is we who are lost to them. North Sentinel Island remains a human mystery, a potent symbol of the unknown, a final, inviolable sanctuary in a world that has very few left. We now journey to the most remote, uninhabited island on the planet. Floating in the frigid expanse of the South Atlantic Ocean, Bouvet Island is, well, kind of a phantom, a whisper of land in a world of ice and water. It's actually closer to Antarctica than to any continent, a volcanic peak almost entirely covered by a thick glacial ice cap. Its sheer cliffs drop precipitously into a tempestuous sea, making any attempt to land a truly perilous undertaking. This is honestly the very definition of isolation. Weather conditions are extreme, with ferocious winds and persistent cloud cover shrouding the island in an almost permanent state of twilight. It's a landscape of stark, brutal beauty, a fortress of ice at the end of the world. The island is a nature reserve, home not to humans but to vast colonies of seals and seabirds. Elephant seals and Antarctic fur seals crowd its few rocky beaches. Penguins, including chinstraps and macaronis, navigate the treacherous terrain, their black and white forms a stark contrast to the blue-white of the glaciers. It's a haven for wildlife that can endure one of the harshest climates on Earth. But Bouvet Island holds a deep and unsettling mystery. In 1964, a South African expedition managed to land on the island. In a small, calm lagoon, they made an astonishing discovery: an abandoned lifeboat. The boat was in good condition, and nearby they found oars, a fuel tank, and a copper flotation tank. Yet, there were no signs of any people, no bodies, and no indication of who they were or where they had come from. The nearest land is over 1,000 miles away. The mystery deepens because there were no recorded shipwrecks in the area that could account for the lifeboat. How did it get there? And what became of its occupants? The boat itself vanished by the time the next expedition arrived 2 years later, perhaps swept away by a storm, leaving only the baffling story behind. The ghost boat of Bouvet Island remains one of the sea's great unsolved puzzles. Our next island lies much closer to civilization, yet it feels just as otherworldly. Off the coast of Nagasaki, Japan, is Hashima Island, more commonly known as Gunkanjima, or Battleship Island. From a distance, its silhouette really does resemble a massive, gray warship, an apt name for a place that was once a battlefield of industrial ambition. From the late 19th century until 1974, Hashima was a bustling coal mining facility. To house the thousands of workers and their families, a city of concrete was built on this tiny rock. It became one of the most densely populated places on Earth, a complete self-contained world with apartment blocks, schools, a hospital, shops, and even a cinema. The island's fate was tied to its coal. When petroleum began to replace coal as Japan's primary energy source in the 1960s, the mine's days were numbered. In early 1974, the mine was officially closed. The residents were given a short time to pack their belongings and leave. The exodus was swift and total. Within weeks, a city that had teemed with thousands of people fell completely silent, abandoned to the wind and the sea. Today, visiting Hashima is like walking through a post-apocalyptic film set. The concrete high-rises stand as hollowed-out shells, their windows like vacant eyes staring out to sea. Inside the apartments, time has stood still. Televisions from the 1970s, newspapers, children's toys, and kitchen utensils lie exactly where they were left. covered in a thick layer of dust and decay. Nature is now slowly reclaiming this concrete jungle. Greenery pushes its way through cracks in the pavement, and vines creep up the sides of the crumbling buildings. The relentless typhoons of the region batter the structures, accelerating their decay and ensuring that Hashima is slowly being erased. It reminds us that even our most formidable creations are ultimately fragile, and that the communities we build are as fleeting as the resources they depend on. Let us now sail to the heart of the South Atlantic, to an archipelago so remote it holds the Guinness World Record for the most isolated inhabited place on Earth. This is Tristan da Cunha. The nearest inhabited land, St. Helena, is over 1,500 miles away. South Africa is 1,700 miles distant. The main island, also named Tristan da Cunha, is a single massive shield volcano that rises dramatically from the ocean. Its peak is often shrouded in cloud, and its slopes are battered by the relentless winds of the roaring Forties. Yet, on a small flat plain on the northwest coast, lies the only settlement, named Edinburgh of the Seven Seas. The entire population of Tristan da Cunha, numbering less than 300 people, descends from just a handful of original settlers who arrived in the 19th century. As a result, the community is like one large extended family, sharing just a few surnames. They are a British overseas territory, but their way of life is uniquely their own, a blend of resilience, self-sufficiency, and deep community bonds forged by their shared isolation. Life here is governed by the rhythms of the sea and the land. The islanders are primarily farmers and fishermen, their livelihood dependent on the potato patches that dot the settlement plain and the rich lobster fishery in the surrounding waters. There is no airport, the only way to reach the outside world is by sea. A few fishing vessels and the occasional cruise ship make the week-long journey from Cape Town just a handful of times a year, bringing mail, supplies, and the rare visitor. This profound isolation was dramatically interrupted in 1961. The volcano, long thought to be dormant, erupted right next to the settlement, forcing the entire population to evacuate to England. For 2 years they lived in a world of traffic, crowds, and technology that was utterly alien to them. Yet, despite the comforts of modern life, the pull of their lonely island was too strong. When offered the chance to return, the vast majority chose to go back home to Tristan. Tristan da Cunha is a testament to the human spirit's adaptability and the powerful sense of belonging that a community can provide. The islanders have created a viable, peaceful society in one of the most challenging locations on the planet. It is a living experiment in isolation, demonstrating a different way of being in the world, far from the noise and haste of the 21st century. Our final island is steeped not in natural wonder or isolation but in legend, treasure, and a mystery that has spanned over 2 centuries. Off the coast of Nova Scotia, Canada lies Oak Island, home to one of the world's most famous and frustrating treasure hunts. At its heart is the legendary Money Pit. The story begins in 1795 when a teenager named Daniel McGuinness discovered a circular depression in the ground beneath an old oak tree. Believing it to be the site of buried pirate treasure, he and 2 friends began to dig. Just a few feet down, they hit a layer of flagstones, and 10 feet below that, a platform of oak logs. They continued to find these platforms every 10 feet, fueling their belief that they were on the verge of a great discovery. But as they dug deeper, the mystery only intensified. They encountered layers of charcoal, putty, and coconut fiber, the latter being particularly strange, since coconuts are not native to Nova Scotia. Then, at a depth of 90 feet, they supposedly found a stone tablet inscribed with strange symbols. According to one translation, the inscription read, 40 feet below, 2 million pounds lie buried. This tantalizing clue has driven the search ever since. The pit, however, seemed to be protected by an ingenious and deadly trap. As diggers pushed deeper, the shaft would suddenly flood with seawater, channeled through a series of sophisticated booby-trapped tunnels leading from the nearby coves. Despite numerous attempts over the next 200 years, using increasingly advanced technology, no one has been able to overcome these floods and conclusively reach the bottom of the Money Pit. The theories about what might be buried there are as varied as they are fantastic. Some believe it holds the lost treasure of pirates like Captain Kidd or Blackbeard. Others suggest it could be the hiding place for the French crown jewels, Marie Antoinette's lost jewels, Shakespeare's original manuscripts, or even the Holy Grail, hidden by the Knights Templar. The mystery has captivated the minds of treasure hunters, engineers, and even historical figures like Franklin D. Roosevelt. To date, the search has cost millions of dollars and, tragically, the lives of 6 men, fulfilling a grim prophecy that 7 must die before the treasure will be found. Oak Island is a magnet for hope and obsession, a puzzle box constructed by persons unknown, its secrets still jealously guarded beneath the earth. Our journey has taken us to the far-flung corners of our world, to islands that hold their secrets close. From the alien gardens of Socotra to the stone-faced Sentinels of Easter Island, and from the defiant isolation of the Sentinelese to the enduring mystery of Oak Island's money pit, these places challenge our perceptions of history, nature, and human endurance. They are more than just lands surrounded by water. They are worlds apart, each a unique chapter in the grand unfolding story of our planet, reminding us that there is still so much we do not know. These islands are powerful reminders that true discovery is still possible. In an age where it feels like every inch of the globe has been mapped and catalogued, these enigmatic shores prove that wonder and mystery persist. They ignite our curiosity and fuel our desire to understand the past and protect the fragile wonders of the present. The stories of these islands are reflections of our own quest for meaning, our fascination with the unknown, and our deep connection to the wild heart of the earth. The world is full of such incredible places, each with its own tale waiting to be told. Which of these islands captured your imagination the most? Was it the poignant ghosts of Hashima or the lonely courage of the Tristan de Cunha community? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you wish to continue exploring the most astonishing corners of our world with me, be sure to subscribe and join our community.